Think about what life was like back in 1900. It was the dawn of a new century. The Civil War was still a rather recent memory. The Statue of Liberty had been welcoming immigrants to New York Harbor for only 14 years. The population was moving from farms to cities. There was a greater interest in science and technology and a sense of increased prosperity and freedom. What was your family doing at the turn of the 20th century? Have you ever wondered if your family lived on a farm? Did your great-grandparents immigrate to the United States? Where were they born and when did they arrive? Did they become U.S. citizens? The answers to these questions help us understand our ancestors' lives. And you can find those answers in the 1900 United States Census, officially recorded on June 1st, 1900. Perhaps most exciting, this is the only census to tell us in which month and year a person was born. Even though there can be errors in the information given, as well as the information recorded, these columns offer terrific details to you as you research your family to zero in on correct birth dates. Let's look at an example using the Collingwood family of Lansing, Michigan. In 1900, Charles B. Collingwood lived at 209 Stillsdale Street West in Lansing with his wife Harriet and 3 children. Birth months and years are written down for each person in the household. We also see that Charles and Harriet had been married for 12 years and that she is the mother of 3 children, with all 3 still living. Now note that I said she has 3 children. There is no evidence here that Charles is the father of those children, but we can make a reasonable assumption that he is, and then prove it with other records. Charles is a lawyer and was not out of work in any of the preceding months. But notice his neighbor, a sales lady at a dry goods shop, only worked 6 out of the last 12 months. George Collingwood, their 10-year-old son, was at school for 10 months of the last year. Looking around the neighborhood, there were a lot of kids in school. The final columns pertain to the family's residence. In this case, the Collingwood family rented their home, indicated by the letter R, so the mortgage information is left blank. If you look at the neighbors, you'll see that many others owned their homes, including 2 with mortgages and 2 owning them free and clear. The next column, where we see an H, indicates that these are homes, not farms, or there would be an F in this box. All of this gives us a pretty good idea of what the neighborhood was like. Charles was born in Massachusetts, and he still had relatives living there. Here's his Uncle George. George Collingwood, age 82, resided at 4 Winter Street in Plymouth, Massachusetts, with 2 grown daughters. And here we are given a genealogical treat. Notice in the date of birth column that this census taker went beyond following instructions and recorded not only the birth month and year of each individual, but also the birth date. An uncommon yet welcome clue in our quest for birth information. Uncle George was born in England, and the citizenship column shows that he was a naturalized citizen, indicated by the abbreviation NA, and that he arrived 81 years ago in 1819. If he's 82 in this census, that means he was only a year old when he came to America. The census has given us a clue, and now we have more records to find, to fill in even more details about George and his family. Go beyond simply attaching the census to your tree. Dig in and discover all the interesting facts recorded on it. Pulling in all those details about these people lets you weave a compelling story about your family.